What's up, guys? It's Am here. I got something for you guys today. And what I want to talk about is knowing what your spaces are. Now, let me give you a little example of what your spaces are. So you can work out at home, right? You can work out at the gym and you can work out at the park. Now, if you know what your spaces are, they can help you, you know, get a better exercise. Get a little bit more active in that activity that you want to do, right? Because there are issues when you're working out at home. First of all, your bed is there. Second of all your daily responsibilities are there, washing your clothes and all that, which you should be doing. But let's say you want to work out, but then you start thinking about all the things that you have to do, and this is why it's important to go to a gym. And now, what is a problem with the gym? The gym, you got a lot of people are there sometimes. So that means that you have to understand what times to go there. One of the best workouts you got to do with the machines you want to use, even if they have the machines. And so some of the issues with the gym. But then, that's what you got to contend with. And the next thing, you could go to a park. And the only problem with the park is it probably doesn't have the type of equipment that you need. You probably might be doing free weight workouts, pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, without too much weight or no weight at all, because parks don't have those type of things, and it's depending on the type of park that you have. And so that makes me say that you gotta know how a space benefits you. You're not gonna get that. I think that you're not gonna get that much benefit out of working out at home. Why? Because first of all, atmosphere matters. People are on the same mission as you, who are interested in the same thing as you. That's going to help motivate you and push more just by being in that space, right? Especially if you're locked in and you're looking to achieve that goal. Now, if you're at home, again, it's not the place for really working out. Yeah, you invest in the equipment, spend thousands of dollars, but to be honest with you, I don't think you should spend that much money for a home gym equipment, right? Because what if you don't use it? That's the problem. It's better that you spend $100 or even $200-$300 on building a small gym with just the bare minimum: pull-ups, dips, maybe a squat rack that can go up to like maybe 100 or maybe 200 pounds. Let's say the limit is 200 pounds, and you have a couple of dumbbells that you could use, right? And you just do the basic workouts at home if needed. What if you work a job and they say, hey, you're going to work extra hours this week. So rather than you having 5 days off, 5 days on, you have 6 days on, and you have one day off. So, that's when you would use the home gym, because what if you're exhausted after, doing a 8-hour shift or a 12-hour shift, and then they give you more hours to do because, maybe they have a crunch going on, maybe low on staffing, people called off, and you're the only one there, or a couple of you and your guys are there. It kind of hinders. So you got to understand the space that you're in, what's going on, your circumstances to benefit you. And rather than wasting money on buying, the brand newest, shiniest equipment, just invest in the basics. And that tells you a lot about just doing the basics while you're at the gym, because you can get a lot of value out of it. But the most important part about going to the gym is the environment. The environment is what's going to help you become better. Just like, when you're talking to certain people, right? Some people you're not going to talk to about things because they can't carry that type of conversation, because they're not into that. On this channel we talk about value, getting value out of things and out of your money. But some people you're not going to talk about money, value. Some people don't care about that. So that's the same thing about being in a space, being around people, being around that idea. You have to understand that that's very important. So make the time and make the investment in your space, and people who want the same things as you, because that is the same idea of investing in the space. You got to invest in people. People help you make that space. People give you ideas on spaces that you can get into with people who are looking for the same thing. Because remember, for a gym to even be created, right, someone had to have that idea. Hey, I want to make a gym. Make a gym everybody can work out in, a nice clean environment. Want to up it from like a basic space to a nicer, cleaner space with new faces, new ideas, right? The way we can come up to that conclusion is if you look at EOS versus Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, they got a bunch of newbies, people who are not really into the gym, probably trying to get into the gym. And you got maybe one or two guys who are into the gym and they really use Planet Fitness to their benefit. And then you got EOS that they still have new people, but you got a lot more people who are into the gym who are in EOS, right? You see all types of cats recording themselves and all this stuff. So that's what I'm gonna talk about. That's why I'm talking about space. You gotta know what type of space you have, and some space is just not gonna work, and you gotta change it up a little bit. Find somewhere new, different minds, different people who are in a space that you want to be in, right? Because if you want to get educated, right, you can go to education channel on YouTube and get educated on that. If you want to get educated in the outside, you go out to a college. You go join programs that have spaces for that. And so I just want to tell you guys, go ahead and find that space. And if you can, help create that space for other people to be on that same mission as you. And so that's all I got for you guys, man. Let me know what you think about this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.